Good morning, everybody. Or anybody. Oh. Twist up a little cigarette. What in the hell? CM, what up, Slothy? What's the matter? Oh, shit. Another day, man. Another day. To me, the skies in Wyoming and South Dakota almost seem painted. There's so many different colors that I don't recall seeing anywhere else. Good morning, Teapot. What's up? Hello, Malau Santiago. Cheers. I'm doing pretty good. Doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. Did I forget to mention this was an 18 and older show? Children aren't welcome here. If you need people to tell you what to do, you need your parents to tell you what to do, you're not welcome here. This is a place for adults who make their own decisions. You make a decision, you do it, you're responsible for it, you're welcome here. If you can't be responsible for your actions, you got to worry about what somebody else does, or you need permission to do something, you need to be hanging out with your parents. You don't need to be on YouTube. It's a total good thing. It's a total good thing. Exactly. It's a damn shame. And if it's adults acting like children, well, goddamn. Good luck. Good luck in the world, because you'll come across the wrong person, and they're gonna fucking educate you. I know I will. Everybody's gotta learn somehow. What's the point in that? Acting like a child blows my mind. You gotta show the world how ignorant and small-minded you are. Hello, Gutsy. Periel Boyd. Hello. Well, thank you for your subscription. It means a lot. Hopefully, I've earned it, or I will earn it in the future. Caw. Sir Head. It's Sir Milty Head. Maybe it was SlothyHead. Who the hell knows? Oh. Boy, it was so cold this morning I turned the heater on in this son of a bitch. You seem sad. What's wrong? Nothing really. I'm doing pretty good this morning. My morning wake up face. When I don't shave, I kind of look like a fucking mean homeless person. Which is good. It gives people reason to say, oh, maybe let's leave this person alone. Oh, I can. There's a swamp cooler, which it doesn't really help out when it's too hot. And I haven't turned the heater on yet, except this morning when I woke up about 3:30, I was freezing my ass off. So I turned the heater on, and that son would throw some heat. A face that says, don't mess with me. Well, I don't want to have a resting asshole face. Resting asshole face. I've got that resting bitch face. It scares the hell out of the kids. We should strive not to do that. Scaring poor children. What in the hell? Oh, I'll never be able to open this thing now. A special homemade concoction. What up, Sam McPhee? Cheers. What up? We have Nag Punch Me. Nag Punch Me. It's only specific to your region, Maharashtra. You can't dab. Well, that sucks. You never really care. You just buy it for the names. If it's got a fun name, you're gonna try it out. That's funny. Calm down, you son of a bitch. Neither can I. I'm done. Well, one. Huh. I would say I usually can only sit down for one session at a time, but it depends on how long the session is. I mean, I can smoke a little tiny joint, and it's a small session, or I can smoke 5 joints, and it's a bigger session. Turn my truck on. In my pocket. You can't pass dabs. You can pass dabs, man. Look, if you have if you have like an e-rig, like this little guy right here, you take it past it. You put a big heavy amount. You put this session. You make it last for like a fucking 120 seconds, and you take your heat and you pass it around, and that somebody can make a full circle and come back to you, and you can make another hit, and it goes out, and you can decide if you want to load it again. Especially if you have the extra large bowl like I got. Snakes are close to Lord Shiva. Thank you, Angela. Hope you have a great day too. Do you know why Shiva has a snake in his neck? Oh, fuck. I did. I've learned this. I cannot recall it right now, Sammy P. I cannot remember. I did know at one point. What's the symbolism of the snake? Ah. The snake around Lord Shiva's neck, often identified as Vasuki, the king of Nagas, serpents, symbolizes several profound concepts in Hinduism. It represents conquering desires, overcoming negativity, and mastery over time and the cyclical nature of existence. The snake's ability to shed its skin also signifies rebirth and transformation, highlighting Shiva's role in universe's continuous cycle of creation and destruction. Yeah. Mastery over desires and fears. Shiva's effortlessly wearing of Vasuki, a creature often associated with fear and primal energy, demonstrates his complete control over desire and fears. The snake can also represent Kundalini energy, a spiritual power believed to reside in individuals, which Shiva embodies. His wearing of the snake symbolizes the fully awakened Kundalini and its divine activity. The coiled snake, with his head and tail touching, can symbolize the cyclical nature of time, highlighting Shiva's timelessness and his role in the universe's eternal flow. Nilkanteshwar. In essence, the snake around Shiva's neck is not just an ornament, but a powerful symbol carrying layers of meaning related to control, spiritual growth, and the cosmic order. Yes, that's the stuff I recall. I knew it was a bunch of things. Good morning, Fluffy. How are you doing? Fluffy McFluffy nugs. My vape is on the last legs of its juicy seed. I'm hanging in there, Slothy. It's going to be another warm one today in the upper 90s, but it feels like 105 humidity. No. Well, I hope you survive. I hate heat. It sucks. It's like it's nice right now. I like this coldness. I just wish it would stay like this all day. That sun is so fucking brutal. Good morning, simple girl. How you doing? Hope your morning is going super well. Terrible. I'm I'm right there with you. It seems like we got 1 or 2 months to go. And then it should start getting pretty good for us. You was gonna mow, but the dang sprinklers ran. Son of a bitch. Damn. There's gotta be a breaker you can hit real quick. The wintertime, the more clothes you wear, and the summertime, the less clothes you wear. Exactly. Exactly. All right. I reckon we can go ahead and get this show on the fucking road. Turn the TV off. Okay, hold on a second. Try this again, a different way. Aha. I got it. My phone. Woo. Turn the AC off in this bitch. It's cold. But it's nice. Did you know where Jesus Christ worked in his early days with his father? Yeah, it was a construction site. He was a carpenter. He, I think he did a little sheetrock too. But, he saved a many of plumbers, though, I tell you what. I love the cool mornings. I always travel different states and different sites. Right now, I'm currently in Wyoming. Affectionately known as the Y. The birds make me happy as well. Judas. Yeah, exactly. No, how I refer to it is you get out to shower in the morning. You take a shower in the morning and you never dry off all day long. can't beat Wagner's meat. Boy, them choppers was flying so late last night. Always moist. I know. That's my problem with the fucking coast. That's my problem with the coast. Listen. Let me help you out with this, okay? I graduated from high school on honor roll. On all my standardized testing, I was above average on reading comprehension, okay? And so I gotta laugh, and I've gotta call it ignorance or pure stupidity, because all of the information is there. We know the bloodline of Jesus. It's how Jesus was the Messiah. Okay, we know that. It's not a mystery. We know Jesus was of the bloodline of Shem. We know that Jesus was. Now, what's the bloodline of Shem? Shem, the word Semite, Semitic Semite, comes from Shem. Okay? And so the Semites are Middle Eastern type people. They're Middle Eastern. They're Arabic. They're those people. That was the bloodline of Shem, the Semites. Semites were not black. They weren't from Africa. Jesus wasn't black. Jesus wasn't European. Jesus was a Semite. He was from the Middle East. He was Middle Eastern. He was the same color as all the other Middle Eastern people are. Now, this is what you can infer from the Bible. If you hold the Bible as the truth, and you say the Bible's the truth, the Bible tells you that Jesus was a Semite. It's part of Jesus being the Messiah. Okay, so we know. The question is answered, is solved. I'm glad I could help y'all. I'm glad I can fucking help you with this great big mystery of what color. It blows my mind. People say that kind of shit. I can understand how people want to identify with the Lord, with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's no ownership. Jesus' message from his own mouth was for Gentiles. Jews, everything outside of Judaism was unclean, was dirty. But Jesus said his message wasn't just for the Jews, it was for the Gentiles. And there was a reason for that. Because you'd never be able to overthrow the Roman occupation of Judea if you just used the Jews. You had to have everybody. If everybody come together and rose up against the Roman occupation of Judea, then they would win. And they would do like what India ended up doing and getting England out of there, gaining their own independence. Jesus was a Jew. Jesus was a Jew. A Jew is a Semite. Jews are Semitic peoples. Present day Israel, exactly. This is the same area. This is the same area. He seek the truth. Jesus went to Egypt, where Jesus would have studied under Buddhist scholars, Hindu scholars. You gotta realize Egypt was a trading center of the world, and the Silk routes led straight to to Egypt. And so you got to know that knowledge and ideas, spiritual ideas and stuff, would have been traveling through Egypt. This is, you got to understand that. And so you understand that when Jesus went to Egypt, he studied and he learned a lot. He learned a lot from the Indian culture, the Hindu culture. He was born to a Virgin Mary. Do you believe that? I think that's a fun story. I think that's special. But I think that comes from man. That comes from the twisted idea of man saying that women is corrupted, woman is evil. The act of sex is evil in itself. It's a fornication, and I don't know if that's cool. I don't think personally. I don't believe that Mary was a virgin. That's not the miracle. I think there's a misconception. People don't understand the true miracle that happened. What really was going down. The real miracle was this. In order for Jesus to be the high priest, he had to be born on a certain day. Anybody that was of the bloodline to produce the Messiah, they only had sex on certain times, so that if any child was created, the child would fall during a time that was prophesied. We're trying to make this prophecy come true. Does this make sense? Okay, Jesus' mom Mary, her and her husband Joseph, they were married. They were making love. They just didn't make love on the prescribed time. Okay? And the baby Jesus was born outside of this time to allow him to be the high priest. And even though this was the case, Jesus became the high priest instead of his older brother. It was amazing. Fancy. Something like that. I love Jesus so much. He loved to choke people. His teachings were beautiful. Exactly. Very, very true. Yes. Bring me the sick, bring me the trouble, and I will comfort them. Bring me the weary, bring me the weak, bring me the mourning. And that's who I want to take care of for. For those without need of a physician, they're good. But for those who really truly need to be saved from this overwhelming burden that we face ourselves with in this world, man, what a great tool, what a great provision. What would Jesus do? Exactly. WWJD. The stoning story of the woman. Yes. Let he is without sin cast the first stone. I think when they take and they add all this stuff that's beyond belief, that's truly beyond the natural order of the world. You can't use lies to further the kingdom of God, right? The kingdom of God should be about truth and the ultimate reality, the source reality. You know, it is what it is. That I mean, the fire behind this thing, it is what it is. Behind everything you see, behind this whole veil of illusion, behind all your fucking perceptions and all this, this is the way it is. This is the way it actually is. That's the source, in my opinion. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. I don't know about that, but I've done a little bit of studying. I'm fascinated by it all. Yes. I keep a copy of the Gita, usually. I got it at Duddy's house. I've read it a million times. I've read the Bible a million times. I read the Upanishads. I read all scripture. I see scripture in so many places. I read the Dhammapada, the teachings of Buddha. I find them to be exceptionally similar to Jesus' teachings, almost word for word. It's very interesting. It's all very interesting. I've read the Quran. I haven't read the Quran a million times, but I've read the Quran a few times. I've read the Quran enough to know that Islam is not a violent, terrible religion, and Islam is not about killing Jews or Christians. This is not their purpose. Their purpose is not to murder other believers of the God of Abraham. This is not what they're about. In the Quran, you can see where it says to respect them. These are your brothers. These are followers of the God of Abraham. This is not what an infidel is. The people that think that, they're just ignorant. An infidel is a person who rejects the idea of God. This is a person who rejects, and in my opinion, I'm not going to say that they should be killed or stoned, but I understand where they're coming from, because these are evil people. You would reject this underlying sinner, this source of everything, and instead you do substitute what your will. I see it as evil, right? But you got to understand what the infidel is. It's this evil person who rejects the idea of God, not a Christian or a Jew who obviously doesn't. Not only do they not reject the idea of God, but they believe in the same God of Abraham that they believe in. So I've studied a little bit of Islam, and I happen to respect Islam. Yes, I did know that. Sex be so good, I say blah, blah, blah. Work it. You're disappointed in Israel? Why are you disappointed in Israel right now? I like Buddha as well. I don't know that Israel is doing anything bad. This is a part of the world that's been in conflict and turmoil for a long time. Long before the Jews were sent back there from Europe. I don't know that they're causing suffering. I think that they're trying to exist. There are people trying to exist. They're existing in a place that they've existed for thousands and thousands of years. I think it's cool. I think it's sad that they're not allowed to exist. I think there's got to be a way for peace. You know, I think both sides is ignorant. I think neither side is thinking about their children. There's got to be a way to live together in the land, you know. That place is cursed. It's always had conflict. It always has. But At some this is why Jesus' message come around. You gotta have a peace. You gotta have peace. You gotta have tolerance. You gotta have love for your neighbor. Both sides catch hell. Both sides catch hell. It shouldn't be that difficult. I like Trump's idea. What Trump said he was going to do, saying we rebuild the Gaza. We rebuild it for all of the Middle East. It's a shithole right now. It's destroyed. They've blown it to hell. They've blown it to hell. Rebuild that son of a bitch and have it a center of fucking economic prosperity for the Middle East. For fucking Palestinians, for Jews, for Muslims, for Christians, for everybody in the region. And stand up for yourself and for humanity. And say, this is the best thing for our children. This is the best thing for our planet. And this is the best thing for our future. As us working together and coming together. You know what I mean? Instead of focusing on a problem and on the wrongs of the past, let's focus on a solution. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. If we can accept this, then we know that somebody has got to say, I forgive you. I forgive you. And with the first forgiveness, it's done. It's done. It's dead. It stops here, man. We don't need to do this no more. You know, my loss can be the last loss we have to suffer, because I can tell you, we don't need to do this no more. Yeah, in my opinion. In the meantime, there's a lot of suffering. There has been. There has been. Now, like I said, there's not too much in the Gaza Strip. It's not. just fucking go somewhere else where it ain't so fucking bombed the fuck out. Wait till it gets better. Not all of them. Not all the followers of Muhammad are intolerant. And this is the saddest thing to me. You know, I think people should police themselves. If you were an African American, and you know the struggle, the racism, the struggle that you fought, you know the perception that society has on you as a whole. When you see your brother doing something stupid, making your whole race, but you stop, say, hey man, listen, represent us a little better than that, man. We don't need to do that. You can be better than that. You can be better than that. And the same thing applies to Islam. All of the pure, good, peaceful Muslims in the world, they shouldn't just quietly stand by and allow the radicals to do that. They need to stand up and say, no, you can't do this. Man, this is affecting us as a whole. What the hell? Stand up and police yourself. It shouldn't be up to the world to stand up and police somebody. Control yourself within your own circle, and then you don't have to worry about, you don't have to cry fucking racism, or you don't have to cry bigotry. The root cause are the intolerant ones. Exactly, Sammy P. Exactly. This is, you know, y'all are gonna say this is harsh. But to be a fucking king and a true leader, you need to make harsh decisions sometimes. You need to make decisions that are harsh, but they will work. The only way, in my opinion, to solve the radical Islamic problem in the world, it's really simple. So these people that are strapped on an explosive vest and blow themselves up, they're promised this trip in hell in heaven and all these virgins and just great rewards for it, right? Their parents and their families are taken care of. They're given a lot of money and provided for. And so a lot of these people are poor and they're desperate and they're just trying to help their family. And you can't fault that. You can't fault that at all. But what if you said, listen, if you're going to strap a fucking an explosive to yourself and go blow yourself up in a crowd, we're going to go and take out your family, your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father, your aunts and uncles. We're going to wipe out your whole bloodline, every relative that's existing. We're going to take them out. You're not providing for them. You're only ensuring their destruction. If you put forth a policy like that, as extreme as it was, this is how you deal with extremists. They, oh shit, when the risk, is greater than the reward, in my opinion, people are superior than others, but it's not within any given race. Some people, doesn't matter who you are, what race or what religion you are, they get up in the mornings a little earlier, they study a little harder, they exercise a little more, they prepare a little more. I think that you'd be a fool to not, so those people are superior to the lazy people that don't. Exactly. Crazy topic. You too, Sammy P. I hope everybody has a great day. It's about that time. He's quite the pipe. I get some excellent comments on this pipe. This old lady was walking past me, and she did a double take, and she says, "Damn, that's a long ass pipe." It caught me by surprise. I said, "Yeah, I guess it is kind of long, huh?" She said, "That's a long ass pipe." Deuces up your cabooses, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for being here. I shall catch y'all on my break or whenever. Deuces. Deuces up your boosies. It's a little cold, man. It's a little bit cold. Deuces.